here. So over the past decade, she has thrived, garnering accolades from Rising Star Awards and being named Inspirational Leader of the Year. So without further ado, please welcome to the stage Sapphire Elite, Jessica Ellerman. Jessica, how are you?
Hey guys, I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. And first of all, I just want to say thanks and shout out to Janess for putting this event together. You guys, I long for the day that we all get to be at an event together doing what we regularly do and hugging on each other and having all that camaraderie. But given the times, this is like, I can't believe how good these events are. I can't believe how much energy that everyone's brought to the table. I hope you guys are taking notes. If you're on here live, drop down some emojis, drop down some nuggets of what you guys have learned already throughout the day. Tag your friends, make sure you're inviting everybody here. So I was invited to share with you guys a little bit on social media. And before I dive into my slides, which I would highly suggest screenshotting as they go through so that you can go refer back to them and maybe run through the basics of getting your social media kind of under control, if you will. But before I do that, I kind of want to share a little bit about how social media has changed basically my life and my business throughout the past 10 years of me being involved here in network marketing. So I started in the business 10 years ago. Luckily, I did not find Janess first. The first companies I've even started with, you guys are not even in existence anymore. But one thing that I can tell you is that Facebook had just come out. I was a hairdresser. I didn't know anything about network marketing, if you will. I didn't know how to sell myself or the business or anything. But what I quickly figured out when I got involved was that this business was all about mindset. And the biggest thing that I can tell you through social media for me was that me forcing myself to post on a daily basis, me forcing myself to sort of build a brand and kind of hone my mindset in, get control of my thoughts, get control of my positivity. It really transformed me from the girl that I was to the girl that I am. And I didn't really understand it at the time, but I started diving in, I started reading books, and I started realizing the people that I was surrounding myself with. And what I really got good at was every single day creating a little bit of content, creating a little bit of positive vibes, creating some just good words to put out in the world. And what I didn't realize, guys, is that not only was that creating me a following and having people start going, oh my gosh, I love the stuff you put out. Or if I would go a couple of days without even posting or being consistent on there, they'd be like, are you okay, girl? Like, we miss your positivity. And what it really did was transform me as a person. So if there's anything that I can tell you about social media is if you get consistent with just posting, if you get consistent building yourself a brand, if you get consistent crushing it, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform you choose, you will change not only and build yourself a brand, build yourself a following, but it will also change you. So some of the things that I would say is remember that you're selling yourself. Remember that you are building, you want your social network to almost look like a TV channel. You want it to be the best of you. You want it to be not just Janess. You don't want it to be spammy. You don't want to go start yourself in a business and all of a sudden the last 10 years you've been posting about your dogs or your horses or whatever your hobbies are, or mountain biking or all the things that might be there. And then all of a sudden your feed changes and all it is products and buy this or join me or selling this. You will lose all of your credibility. You will lose all of your contacts because that's not stuff that they want to see at all. So let's start going back to the very basics. Where do you start? How do you even get it reined in? And the cool thing about social media is you can change it at any time. So you can start getting consistent today. You can start building yourself a brand. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, but where do you start? So starting with your Facebook profile, right? The first most important thing, and people totally forget this, guys, you need to go check yourself. Upload a good photo. This stuff might seem like the most simple stuff you've ever seen, but what you have to realize, when someone sees your picture, when someone goes to your page, you have seconds before they're bored and they're going to go somewhere else. So make sure you upload a photo that looks good. You're smiling. It isn't grainy. These things are seriously important. It shouldn't be a picture of your cat. It shouldn't be a picture of your dog. It should be a picture of you that is you being your best self. And if you're going to be one of those people that says, I don't take good pictures. I don't care. Your friends, your following, they want to see you. They want to follow you. They want to know about you, which leads to the next thing. So upload a cover photo. If you go to any of our Facebook pages, if you go to mine, you'll see my portrait, right? Me, my profile picture. But then above that, you guys can click on it. You guys can look through the ones as they've changed over the years. Sometimes maybe they were a quote. Sometimes it was very much had to do with my brand. Sometimes it had very much to do with my family, which is very important to me as well. So upload a cover photo that's branded to you, that is what you want people to think of when they see you. All right, guys? So screenshot some of these because we're going to start going through them fast. But these are things you can refer back to and really clean your page up. So your about section. Your about section is important, but what you don't want is you don't want, like if you go to mine, like I'm owner at Entrepreneur. I'm not, Emerald director at Jeunesse, because I want to create curiosity. I want them to know that I like own my niche, that I have a reason to be able to speak from the things that I am passionate about. But I don't want to just give them all that information right there. So fill that stuff out in a way that gives you credibility in what it is that you are trying to do. Here's a really good thing. So in your about section, guys, I made a post today on my personal wall so that you guys could have an example of something to go do to kind of figure out what your brand is, to kind of fall into your niche. And so if you go to after this is all over, after tonight, when everything's done, you want to go Facebook me, you can. My last picture of me holding up the number 5, and I ask everybody, drop in the comments 5 things that you think of me. This is a really good post for you to start figuring out what your friends think of you. And it's a really good way for you to start figuring out, okay, that is the brand I'm trying to build, or that is not the brand I'm trying to build. And now you can start posting in a manner that is fitting to what it is that you're trying to do. Another thing that gets really easily overlooked is making sure your profile is public. You want your profile to be public. You want to, as you're building a following, as you're building a circle of people that are paying attention to what it is that you're doing, you want people to be able to share that content. You want people to be able to find you by the things that you're doing. And if your profile is not public, they can't do that. And I understand there's people that tell me, I don't want my pictures out there. I don't want this. I don't want that. You guys, it's the internet. They're going to find it anyways. And if you are going to try and build yourself a business through social media, you're going to have to use, you're going to have to be public, and you're going to have to allow people to see that. And in that, I kind of go over actual prompts of how to do that. And this is a really good rule of thumb. If someone can figure out which company you are with just in a few seconds of going to your page, you're using it the wrong way. And you guys have to think about it think about when you're scrolling through Facebook and you've got that friend who just starts up a business and all they're posting about is that. Or maybe all they post is whatever, something that's crazy, right? Or all they do is post pictures of content of other people's videos. That's not what you want to see. You know as well as I do, you hit that button and you say, unfollow, unfollow, unfollow. You do not want to create that kind of a atmosphere in your page. So that's why figuring out your brand, those 5 things that are most important, so that you can really be posting in a way that makes people think that of you. And if you can figure out, guys, how to use our amazing products and slide them into your posting, creating curiosity, using your stories in a way that just brings that product into your brand rather than putting that product right in their face, they'll start to ask questions. They'll start to be curious. And this is the platform that you want so that you can sell, you can gather customers, you can gather followers. So Facebook do's and don'ts. I love these guys. These are great. So click or screenshot this and go through your page and make sure you're doing these things. All right. Make sure you're doing, I'm not going to go over every one of them. I want you guys to see the do's. I want you to screenshot them. I want you to take note of them. And I also want you to see the don'ts. And we've kind of covered a few of these. Screenshot this, make sure you're not doing those things. And a couple helpful tips, all right? So as we start winding this down, as you're ready to start posting, a couple of things I want you to really think about is if you're not a consistent poster, like if you don't post some bit of content every single day, no matter which platform you're using. I know some of you are more definitely for Instagram, some of you are definitely more Facebook. A couple of things to remember is this: your stories, which are those little videos that go across the top of your Facebook or the top of your Instagram that change, and you can click through them, and it might be just random things during the day. You guys use them. Use your stories. Post in your stories at least 3 to 5 times a day, sometimes more. Don't go crazy. You don't want to put 30 things in there that people have to click through, but things that kind of pull your brand together, that is interesting, that's funny, that's quirky. Like, people are looking at your Facebook like it's a show. They literally are. And people love a show. They love fun content. They love silliness. They love all those things. So whatever your brand is, guys, bring that into those stories and use them. And then as far as posting on your wall, 1 to 3 times a day is a really good number. And if you are someone who hasn't been consistent with that, what I used to do when I first got started really being consistent on my social media to build a platform was I would set my phone alarm. And I would remind myself 1 to 3 times a day, and it would force me to go look up some content, get some ideas, look up some really positive things, take a picture of my kids doing something dorky, putting it up there, but creating that show so that when people went to my page and as they scrolled through, they would have positive stuff to see, some fun pictures, you know, things that we were doing. I would do lives of cooking. That's one of my pieces of my brand is food. We love to cook and we do it really, really well. So set your timer. Let your phone be your helper and remind you of the things that you need to be doing. So 3 to 5 times a day. The good thing about this, and I already kind of said it, but you can start this over today. So as we wind this thing down, take some thoughts, go post that thing asking your friends what they think of you. I want you to really sit down and start thinking of a brand. I want you to really sit down and start thinking of what you want the world to see you like, and make a little bit of a plan. And you guys, when you start doing this, it's not, social media isn't going to make you money overnight. You're not going to just start going crazy and like a lot of everybody thinks, just put the products out there, put Janess out there, join me, put your link. That's not going to build you an income source through social media. What will is creating content, creating a following, having people watch you, and being social. It is social media. So as you put something out, I don't care if it's a picture of your kids, your racehorse, your whatever it is that you do, when people comment, like, and react to that, that's when, and you'll notice if you go to my page, you don't see me selling anything on my wall. But what you don't see is all the messenger chats that I have going on from people who are reacting to my stories, reacting to my posts. And that's really where the sales happen. That's really where I gather my customers. That's really where I gather a new distributor. It's by taking it off of my own social media page and having a connection with that person, caring about them, asking questions, living regular life, not just, you know, trying to spam them and trying to get them to buy something from me, but really starting to care about them, learn about them, and then if the time comes, then referring something to them that makes sense inside of their life. So you're going to see that your sales, your numbers, your anything through Instagram, Facebook, whatever, is always going to be in that messenger chat, is always going to be once you finally connect with them through the phone, any of those kind of things. So that's really about, it's all about the connection. It's all about the interaction. It's all about the things that happen after the post. A couple of other really good social media tips as you kind of start to build your brand, clean it up, start making your posts that are interactive. As you start using your stories, guys, what you'll realize is there's so many of your friends. I don't care if your friends list is huge or really, really small. What'll happen is, you know, when you make a post even on Instagram, but on Facebook, you can see who liked it, you can see who commented on it. The beautiful part about stories, guys, is if they click it, you can see who was on there. And so on average, most of my posts on Facebook get somewhere between 60 to 250 likes, depending on how interactive it was, depending on how funny it was, depending on whatever. So my likes will be 60 to 250. On average, guys, my stories are seen somewhere between 500 to 600 times a day. And I can literally see a list of every single one of those names that's inside of those stories. And that's a list of 500 to 600 people that I can interact with. I can connect with, I can start conversations with, I can start having, no matter whether you're building this business in person or online, it's all about the connection. They're not going to do business with you. They're not going to buy something from you if there's no connection there. So remember that. This is social media, guys. It isn't about just putting up a post and everyone's going to buy something from you. That's not how it works. You have to use social media like you use your regular platforms. So we have a few minutes left. So off the top of my head, I'm going to fly through some things that I have personally done to create some content. Put my phone away because I don't need my clicker no more. But not only that post today that I did where it says ask about the five things that are like the most whatever, building my brand, the 5 things that they think about the most. Another post that I have done that really got some really good interaction was this. And there's lots of tools on apps that can help you make really good pictures with like words over the top of them. So I took a picture of myself and all I did was say, basically something to the effect of, I know there's so many on here. Not every one of you have said hi. Please stop underneath and say hi. That was it. So it's just a picture of me and it's just asking everybody on the page to say, hey, boom, boom, boom. So many people that I didn't even think about, guys. Creating some curiosity, doing a post like that where they have to be interactive. This builds your list. It builds more people that you weren't thinking about in the first place. But the problem is, guys, it's easy to do some of this stuff, but it's just as easy not to do. So decide for yourself, make a plan, decide what kind of brand you're going to build, and go start being very, very consistent through social media. I know this was a very basic social media training, but what you'll realize is if you'll be consistent with these steps, with these things, you'll start to naturally just learn the tips, the tricks, and things that will take your business even bigger through your social media platforms, you guys. I hope this was really helpful for you guys. I hope you got something from it. If you don't mind, drop in the comments any tips, any tricks that you did learn. And I cannot wait to see you guys at the next event when we all, hopefully, cross our fingers, get to be in person.
Jessica, thank you so much for flying out here to Orlando and joining us today. And listen, you call it basic, but I call it incredible, all right? Great training. I have a buddy who's 10 years younger than me, who's a killer on Instagram and making way more money than me. So these same tools that you're teaching now, that's what he bases his entire business off. So guys, I pray that you've taken a lot of notes because this information is just incredible. Now listen, guys, I know you see all these speakers, you know, all these different platforms. Listen, we have 4 studios in the building today. So that's why you see it in our Diamond Lounge, where I'm at now, so many rooms around right now. So if you love what you're seeing, guys, give me a 10 in the chat box. We're all surrounded, all right? We're all surrounded in the building. All right, guys, so for our next speaker, he was born in Canada and is always telling me how, and it's incredible. Like, I always get emotional when I talk to him, but he's always telling me how much he just loves his life because he married his best friend, you know, who they have he has 3 children with. He started his network marketing career 15 years ago, and during that time, he's achieved major recognitions while creating organizations of more than 150,000 individuals in 70 countries, all right? So here to speak on building online effectively, please welcome to the stage